billionaire did not smile when he handed over his black credit card. Three women stood before him. Two wore silk and perfume. The third wore an old uniform with faded stitches. "Take this card," he said, his voice like dry harmattan wind. "Spend as you wish. But know this, what you do will show me who you truly are." The women glanced at one another, suspicion dancing in their eyes. They did not know this was a test. Only he knew. And in his chest, his heart thudded like a drum, for he was searching not for beauty but for truth. His name was Chief Adewale, a man whose wealth stretched from Lagos to London, from the dusty cocoa farms of his father's village to the glittering skyscrapers of Dubai. But though he owned everything, he trusted no one. He had been betrayed before, by family, by friends, by women who swore love but loved only his gold. Now he kept two side chicks, Chiamaka, whose laughter could melt stone, and Bissi, whose beauty made even queens seem pale. They were jewels he flaunted in public, but he never gave them his heart. And then there was Mariam, his maid. Quiet, almost invisible, moving through his mansion like a shadow. She scrubbed his marble floors, washed his endless clothes, and bowed when he passed. She never asked for anything, yet somehow he noticed her. The first to take the card was Chiamaka. She clutched it with trembling hands, but her eyes gleamed with hunger. That very day, she went to the most expensive boutique in Victoria Island. Dresses of silk, shoes of Italian leather, perfumes that cost more than a man's yearly salary, she bought them all. In less than 3 hours, she spent millions. She imagined Chief Adewale's face when he saw her transformation. "He will be pleased," she whispered. "He will know I belong in his world of riches." But she did not know. Cameras had followed her. Adewale's men watched, recording every act. The next day, Bissi took the card. She was cleverer than Chiamaka. She thought, "If I spend only on myself, it will look selfish." So she called her family. She bought her brother a car, her mother jewelry, her father an imported wristwatch. To the world, she seemed generous, but in her heart, she smiled slyly. "If I marry Chief Adewale, I'll give them palaces. For now, let them taste only crumbs." She returned the card with pride. "I did not forget my family," she told him sweetly. He only nodded, but his eyes were cold, searching. On the third day, Mariam came forward. She did not even want to touch the card. Her rough hands shook as she received it. "Sir," she whispered, her voice low, "I do not know what to buy." "I have never held such power before." Adewale leaned back in his chair. "Do as you wish." Mariam left. But unlike the others, she did not go to the boutiques or jewelers. She walked to the market, the same market where she haggled for tomatoes and soap for the mansion. There, she bought bags of rice, beans, cooking oil, yam, plantain, food in abundance. Then she went to an orphanage on the edge of town. Children with hollow cheeks and eyes too old for their years gathered around her. She filled their storerooms with food. She paid their school fees. She bought them mattresses so they would not sleep on the cold floor. She even replaced the leaking roof of their dormitory. The bill was heavy. By the time she was done, the account had dipped lower than it had ever been. The billionaire's fortune, untouchable for decades, felt the weight. When she returned the card, she knelt before him. Tears shone in her eyes. "I am sorry, sir," she said. "I have spent too much, but I could not look at those children and do nothing." That night, Adewale sat alone in his study. His fingers tapped the black card, now heavy with Mariam's choices. He checked the account. For the first time in many years, he felt a sting. Loss, real loss. But strangely, it did not anger him. Instead, his chest swelled with an emotion he had buried long ago. Hope. The two side chicks had shown him hunger for wealth. Mariam had shown him hunger for humanity. And though she had spent more than both combined, though her actions had nearly broken his fortune, her heart had mended his spirit. The next morning, he summoned them. Chiamaka arrived in a new gown, Bissi in glittering jewels. Mariam came in her uniform, head bowed. He rose to his feet, voice steady as thunder. Chiamaka, you spent only on yourself. Bissi, you hid greed under the mask of generosity. But Mariam, he paused, his eyes softening as he looked at the maid. You gave away what was not even yours. You risked my anger to feed the poor. You broke my wealth, but in truth, you revealed its purpose. The women gasped. Adewale turned to Mariam. From today, you are no longer my maid. You are my partner. Together, we will rebuild what you spent. Not for vanity, not for show, but for people who need it most. Chiamaka and Bissi shrank, their jewels heavy like chains. But Mariam wept, unable to believe her ears. And in that mansion, where marble and gold had never known true joy, something sacred was born.